All right. We are quite literally standing in mud in order to do this for you here today. Nothing like tromping around in muck boots in 100-degree heat with 100% humidity to shoot a video. Hey there folks, how you doing today? Hope all is going well with you. Welcome back to the farm. Please bear with any background racket that you might hear throughout this production. We are on location where life happens, and sometimes there's stuff going on out there that interferes with what we're trying to do in here. Also, it's hot, so I'm going to try to keep this short because I have to cut the fan off because it causes a feedback issue with the microphone in here. So moving right into our video, this is a review of the Gowutar B22 red dot optic. This is an item I purchased myself on Amazon back in April, right after I did the review of the Gowutar A20. I purchased the A20 after I had seen some reviews that had been done by other content creators with A20s that had been sent to them by Gowutar. So I wanted to find out for myself if they really lived up to the hype. So I bought that one with my own money. If you haven't seen that video, I encourage you to watch it. We did a lot of torture tests to that optic and it held up extremely well. So immediately after I figured out that it was a good solid bargain, I went back on Amazon and I purchased a second Gowutar optic, which is this B22 model as you see here. Before we get into our range results, I'm going to make you sit through a minute or two of tedious unboxing. We have not done anything with the optic yet. It's still sealed up in the box. So now we're going to get the box opened up here and we'll see what we have inside of it. It looks to be packaged about like the Gowutar A20 was, although it is considerably heavier. The seals are intact. This is the HHC B22 red dot optic from the PRC. We're going to get this opened up and start our torture test. Alright, we got some paperwork in there. Let's see what we got. We got the cleaning rag. There's our optic. There's the tools as well as a CR2032 battery. Alright, and to show you what we've got here, the Gowutar comes with the high pick mount installed as well as it comes with a low profile pick mount, which is nice. So we got the CR2032 battery installed on the Gowutar, made sure the cover's on nice and tight. Your controls to turn it on and off are right there. I've got the brightness turned all the way up so you can see it out here in the broad daylight. And if you look right there in the middle, you can see that red dot. Now more importantly, and this is the first observation I make, in addition to that red dot, if you look right there in front of my thumbnail, you can see a little bump of like some kind of potting epoxy or something that's used to hold the electronics in place. It is visible in the window. I don't really care for that, but it shouldn't be a big deal and should not impede function. Now the torture test portion of this content was shot for short media content, and so it's not formatted for this screen that you're watching this on right now, so just bear with that and then we'll move on into our range testing portion. We started our testing procedure of the Gowutar red dot rifle optic. I'm visually verifying that it is still turned on, and we've got a bucket of water here, so we're going to test the immersion quality of it. All right, I'm not sure how long it has been, but it has been several minutes. I'll get that out of the water, and you can see there the red dot is still working. So now we'll bounce it off a tree. Alright, so having flung it and bounced it off a tree, making that dad noise bending down to pick it up, you can see it's quite dirty, but if you look inside there, the red dot's still right in the middle where it should be. Doesn't look like it's shifted any. Still growing, glowing. But now we've got all this dirt all over it again, so back into the water. So after we got it dried off, I mounted it on the CZ Scorpion and we headed over to the range. Real quick, I'll point something out to you. Now, as I always like to point out to you, Steve, this is a safe and empty weapon. You can see the red magazine follower there. This standard capacity Palmetto State Banana magazine is only here for aesthetic purposes. We don't have any ammunition for this weapon out here in our workspace, and it will stay that way for this portion of the content. Now, some of you might realize that I have the Gowutar mounted on that short mounting bracket that came with it. You saw that in the unboxing portion. But you may have noticed earlier I had the Gowutar mounted on the high bracket here over the forward portion of the receiver portion of the rail. You might be wondering why I changed that. I actually have a very good reason for why I changed that out. If any of you are like me and you like to pretend that you are Rambo out at the range, the way the optic was mounted before interfered with the HK slap on the charging handle. That's the only reason why I moved it. I will point out to you that the higher mount that it was on before, it just seemed more likely to get snagged on something to me, so I went ahead and I moved it to the lower one. A nice feature of the low mount is it provides a positive lower third co-witness with the iron sights here on the Scorpion. Once I had the optic bore-sighted, this was the first group that we shot at about 25 yards. You can see it's nice and tight. So then I picked up the pace and shot another group, and you can tell that I sped up a little bit with my shots there. Yes, that is annoying, and still for 25-yard accuracy, I think that's pretty good. It's about what you could expect to get with an unmagnified optic on a pistol lacking any kind of rearward support. That's a fight for another day. So what do we think about the Gowutar B22? For an $80 optic, you may be able to get it cheaper if you have a coupon code. I think it's a solid bargain. I would put it in the same ballpark as like a SIG Romeo Zero. I prefer the push button mechanism on this to that awkward little wheel on the SIG. Those are usually very tight and hard to turn. So if you are looking for a budget red dot optic to put on your range toy, your kid's 22, or your I can't break the bank with this defensive rifle setup, I think this Gowutar B22 is a solid bargain. Again, I bought this with my own money. If I needed another one, I'd buy another one tomorrow. I think they're that good. So thank you to Gowutar for making this optic as affordable as they did. I think that they are really trying to get in the game with the budget optics. I'll give you a little teaser. We're not quite done working with their stuff. We have one more video planned, which will be coming out in about a week or so. Now, I'd like to hear what you have to say about these. If you have ever messed with one, if you have one, if you bought one and you returned it because you thought it was garbage. Whatever your thoughts on the Gowutar B22 are, I'd like for you to leave them down in the comments section there. So until next time, thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.